Here's the truth I've never told anyone. Revenge doesn't start with anger. It starts with the silence after you finish screaming. The kind where you're sitting on your bathroom floor at 3 a.m., staring at your reflection in the medicine cabinet mirror, wondering how the hell you didn't see it coming. That's where I was when I found out about David and Rachel. Not at some dramatic confrontation, not even during a fight, just alone. With my phone in one hand and a half-empty bottle of Target brand melatonin in the other, because insomnia had been my constant companion for weeks. I'd blamed it on work stress. Turns out my body knew before my brain did. The notification popped up innocently enough. Instagram's little heart icon. David tagged you in a story. Except when I tapped it, I wasn't in the photo. Rachel was. Rachel from his finance team, with her perfect blonde highlights and that laugh I'd always found too loud. They were at the Roosevelt Hotel's bar, the one David had told me was too stuffy when I'd suggested it for our anniversary last month. His fingers were laced through hers on the marble countertop. And the timestamp? 47 minutes ago. Right around when he'd texted me, "Late night at the office, babe. Don't wait up." I remember this bizarre numbness spreading through my body, like someone had hit pause on all my nerve endings. My first thought wasn't even about David, it was about the chicken defrosting in my sink for tomorrow's dinner, the one I was going to make with that new lemon garlic recipe he'd supposedly loved when Rachel made it last week. The next hour passed in fragments, calling David 12 times straight to voicemail, driving to his office parking lot just to see his empty space, texting Jake 3 variations of, "I think I'm being paranoid, but," before deleting them all. Then came the real gut punch. I logged into David's Google account. Yes, I still had the password from when I helped him format his resume last year. There, in his drive, was a folder titled R. Inside, hotel confirmations, selfies I'd never seen, and a spreadsheet named Pros Cons. Under my column, "Great listener, always remembers my mom's birthday, but kind of predictable in bed." Under Rachel's, "Never nags me about laundry, insane in bed, but bad at texting back, kinda hot though." I wish I could tell you I threw my laptop across the room, that I burned his clothes in the parking lot like some movie heroine. But the truth? I just closed it, folded the laundry he'd left in the dryer, fed the cat. Because that's what happens when the person who promised to love you turns you into a spreadsheet comparison. You don't combust. You calcify. Until you don't. Somewhere between midnight and 3 a.m., the ice in my veins turned to gasoline. I started seeing our entire relationship through this horrifying new lens. That business trip to Chicago last spring, the weekend he lost his phone in June, even the way he'd started criticizing my outfits lately. "You always wear so much black, babe." I drove to Jake's apartment in that same eerie calm. Didn't even realize I was still wearing my work slippers until I was standing in his doorway, watching his sleep-rumpled hair stick up in 5 different directions as he squinted at me. "David's cheating," I said. No preamble. Just those 2 words, hanging in the space between us like a grenade with the pin already pulled. Jake didn't ask if I was sure, didn't give me some platitude about how I deserved better. He just stepped aside and let me in, already reaching for his keys. Do you know where he is right now? That's the thing about real friendship. It doesn't need explanations. Jake took one look at my face and knew this wasn't some misunderstanding. Knew I wasn't here for consolation. Knew somehow that I needed vengeance more than I needed comfort. And that's when I said the words that would unravel everything. "I don't want you to confront him, Jake. I want you to replace him." The plan spilled out of me like poison from a wound. We'd stage cute couple photos. Accidentally, run into David at our regular brunch spot. Make him watch as I laughed at Jake's jokes the way I used to laugh at his. Jake's face did this complicated twitch, part concern, part something darker I couldn't name. "Mandy," he said slowly, "this isn't you." "It is now," I shot back. What I didn't say? That this wasn't really about David anymore. It was about the version of me who'd believed his lies, who'd folded his stupid t-shirts just the way he liked them, who'd spent 3 years turning herself into a woman who fit neatly into his life without ever asking if that life fit her. That girl needed to burn. So I deployed the nuclear option, the same one I'd used when convincing Jake to help me sneak into a frat party sophomore year. The puppy dog eyes, the "Remember when I took care of you after your wisdom teeth surgery?" The silent, stubborn stare that always made him cave. And just like back then, he sighed that long-suffering sigh. "Fine, but when this blows up..." "It won't," I interrupted. I was wrong, of course, but by the time I realized how wrong, it was already too late, because the fatal flaw in my brilliant revenge plan, I'd forgotten Jake had loved me first.